Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I was actually planning on heading back over to Jefferson Head to try some jigging and mooching for Chinook salmon, but yesterday there was an emergency salmon regulation that actually prevents fishing for Chinook salmon in kind of the main marine area 10. However, we have this very special season in kind of like downtown Seattle, so like the Elliott Bay area, where you can actually fish for Chinook salmon from about August 4th through August 7th, something like that. So today is the 5th, it falls in that window, and I can legally fish for Chinook salmon. And today's a very nostalgic day, so I actually have tried this before and had absolutely no luck with it. At the time I really didn't know what I was doing, so I'm gonna try to apply my skills again and see if I can do a little bit better this time. Now the reason that this is nostalgic is this is where I kind of learned how to fish, basically. So just to give you a sense of what this looks like, this is my view right now. So I used to actually moor my kayak right there. So I used to moor at a place called what's it called? Jack Block Park. And then I would go all the way through Alki Beach to Alki Point. At Alki Point, that's finally where the legal salmon fishing usually happens. I'm going to be trolling for Chinook salmon right by those cranes that are probably about 3.5 miles that way. I've already covered about 4.5 miles, so likely it's 8 miles one direction. Obviously, you know, have some practice in a kayak if you can try anything like this. Yeah, so probably 25 plus miles today. And we'll just see what happens and see if I have learned a thing or two about Chinook fishing. Yeah, so it's easy to get intimidated when you're kind of the sole kayaker fishing in a bunch of boats. Feels like with all these lines in the water, you know, how are you going to be the one to actually catch a fish? But I honestly think you have some advantages as a kayaker. So first off, you're quieter. You know, so I've literally no engine noise at all. I don't use gas. You know, because of that, I can stay out longer. I can put in more miles. That doesn't cost me any money. And then I can also accelerate and decelerate a lot faster. So here's actually some footage of a Chinook taking a bait that I filmed, I think last week, something like that. But what's important to note about it is that it actually follows the bait for a while. So you can actually see the Chinook following, and then finally on just a slight variation in the speed, it ends up taking the lure. I don't know how, but I actually did not land that fish. It looked like it completely swallowed the bait, but oh well, you know, we all get rubber hooks sometimes. So that's kind of the deal. I'm going slow. I'm going just around 2 miles an hour. And I'm basically going into bursts of speed where I hit almost 3, and then slowing down to maybe 1.5, 1, something like that. What I'm really trying to do is put some variation on the bait, because I don't want to be just another hoochie going 2 miles an hour. I want to be a little bit different. I want to be the injured hoochie. I want to be the scared hoochie. I want to be the one that's got a little different action on it. Here we go. It is no doubt 22 inches. Jeez. Wow. What a good fish. All right guys. Had to get a little creative and use an iPhone instead of the usual GoPro. Here is the the backdrop for that fish catch. So really good sized salmon, probably on the order of 10 pounds, caught just outside of Seattle. I'm very happy to catch 1 or 2 Chinook salmon a year. That's about all I ever fish for. You know, they're a very important part of our ecosystem. The whales depend on them pretty heavily, so I try not to over harvest. So even though I could catch one more, I'm not even going to try. So this is plenty for me. So alright guys, you've probably seen this in other YouTube videos. This is called the fast fillet method. And pretty much I start with the dullest paring knife that I can find. Now make sure not to blink, this is really fast. Fast fillet! So here's the final results. As you can see, not totally perfect. Got a couple gouges here, but basically went back in and kind of like pulled out whatever meat I could find. I am keeping the belly meat and the collars, basically planning on smoking that. Probably going to smoke that along with one of the coho that I caught this year. And then these fillets are probably going to be eaten raw, pan-seared, maybe smoked also. Just kind of depends on what we end up doing. So next, let's prep it for sashimi. So the next step that I'm going to do is pulling out what are called pin bones. And basically you can kind of feel a little ridge of bones that runs this way, especially like if you move your finger across the fillet this way, you'll feel them. And I just had this kind of large pair of tweezers that I don't know, my wife gave me for my birthday or something like that. And all you do is just grip the end of one of these bones and then pull, and then you end up with something that looks about like that. So I personally don't like them. I actually have had pin bones in fish that I ordered at like a fine dining restaurant, and I was not enthused about it. But especially for something like sashimi or eating salmon raw, you want to get all of these. So what I'm going to actually do is prepare 3 sections that can be used for sashimi. And I'm going to do that basically by cutting this fillet maybe about in half. That looks about right. And then basically cutting it one more time like this. I'm being a little careful with my measurement here. Looks pretty good. And then one more time right about here. And now what I'm going to do is essentially freeze each of these for 7 days. After 7 days at -4 degrees Fahrenheit, they should be safe to eat raw. Great, so here's the final result. I got my unsmoked fish here, I got my smoked fish here. I already had a little, that's why I was missing. But it's very good. So I'm just going to dig in. Little bit of wasabi, nice smoked piece of fish there, quick bath in the soy sauce. Yeah, the smoke really comes through. Nice fatty fish, very fresh, every bit as good as you'd get at a restaurant. I'm pretty excited about this. I'm going to be doing this more for sure. About as fresh as you can get. This fish was swimming 8 days ago, and it was frozen, and here it is.